welcome back to another episode of Figures in Action. And this is actually the last video I'm going to record before I go on vacation in about 5 days, 4 or 5 days. So there's the last dial. I take that back. I'm completing one more on Friday, but that video I won't post it till I get back from vacation, although I will be shipping that other dial on Friday, and today is Tuesday, or Friday or Saturday. Today's Tuesday, but anyway, so I was contacted by a person who wanted, and I had just taken a quick picture with Daredevil, the masked Daredevil from the old school Marvel Legends Toy Biz line, and a couple of some props here. Alright, so we have yet another alleyway type dial. You know, I've said this a bunch of times and I'll keep saying it. It really doesn't bother me that people consistently ask me for alleyways. You know, I sometimes you kind of get into like this mindset where you want to create and you want to continue to create a little bit outside your box. You want to try new things. You want to challenge yourself to do different type of scenarios, of scenes, of you know, dials, of designs, and you know, there are times where I get like back to back alleyway commissions, and I remember a while back I kind of felt like, man, like is this all I'm gonna do for life here? But honestly, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. I can't pick and choose what people want as dioramas. I love alleyways. Again, I've said this a bunch of times. I grew up in the city of Boston. I grew up as a graffiti artist, so alleyways was something that I walked through all the time. There was always graffiti. There was always debris and guck and throw up and piss, and it was alleyways in the city. So I don't mind creating alleyways. I really don't. Was contacted by a gentleman who wasn't sure what he wanted. You know, he was just like, I want a sidewalk and I want an alleyway, which is not the easiest thing to do well, because usually alleyways don't generally have. I take that back. You know what? The alleyways of Newbury Street, which is kind of Boston's premier spot for retail shops that are super expensive, those alleyways do have sidewalks, and the sidewalks are usually lined up with dumpsters and so forth. So, you know, he told me what his price range was, what his budget was, and he said he wanted an alleyway. So I created this, make sure I gave him the sidewalk, and make sure that kind of gave him the alleyway feel with the no through alley, kind of meaning it's a dead end. And so let's break down real quick what I did here. So first and foremost, we're looking at 16 inches across, and for some reason I feel like it's deeper than normal. No, it's not. It's 12 inches deep, 12 inches tall, created completely out of insulation foam board. This actually is 2 pieces of this foam, kind of these foam boards stacked up. And what I did is, once I stacked them up, I kind of let me see if you can see the seam. I always try my best to hide seams, but you can kind of see it a little bit, like a tiny little bit. I did a pretty good job with this one of covering the seams. There you can see kind of the paint where because of the seam, the paint, the brush kind of goes in a little bit differently. So you can see there, but I mean, you can barely see it. So this is just 2 pieces glued together. This door, this is I actually showed this to somebody and they weren't sure what this was. This is just a metal, you know, I've seen different metal type doors. There's just a metal piece there. What I did is I put vellum paper in the back to make it look as if it's a hard plastic. So even if it's a plexiglass, so even if it's not as if it's metal with like open slots that you can kind of put your hand through and open the door on the other side, it definitely has that plexiglass on the other side of it. This light here, this is the first time I've created this type of light. So let me show you where it originally came from. Let me see if we can see this here. I don't know if you guys can see the written, that says Star Wars right there. You see that? So I don't remember where I got this, but this is just kind of an orb type of thing. I don't remember what was in it. I think it was these little rubber Star Wars guys. So I kept these around. What I did is I took there's 2 Star Wars logos. I dremeled them off, and then I also dremeled the rest of it to kind of give it that cloudy look. The thing with these is that you can see there's the open, kind of those open slots there. So what I did is I just stuck vellum paper in it so that you don't see the light kind of coming out directly. That wire is just from like an old charger, I believe, or something like that. And I just use zip ties to kind of put it in there and just kind of give it that rust look. The way I put the light is a little unique. It's a little unique to say the least. So basically what happened was just kind of, I don't know if you can see it. So you can see the circle, you know, the circle where the fixture is on the other side. And what I did is I had to just carve out a little bit of not, you know, not go all the way through just because of the way this light is built. And I just wanted it so that you can kind of just plug it into the, you know, into the wall, and it kind of stays there. It's not completely flush, but it'll kind of stay in place. And I also kind of created a, I'm sorry, this camera's all over the place. And I kind of created a slot. Oops, where am I there? A slot here for the on-off switch. So that's what this is. What this light looks like from behind. I just took a wheat pasted Obey type poster. These two signs are made on that metal tape that I've told you guys about. That SK file actually turned me on to, which is great. I love how they look. You can dent them up. You can kind of peel the corner up a little bit and kind of make it look like it's just, you know, worn out and starting to kind of, or bent up, or somebody try to rip it off. Some graffiti just to kind of give that feel. That's me trying to imitate my homie Soames, who's an amazing graffiti artist, also part of the crew that I'm in. We did a vent there that is sewing mesh, and that vent is actually removable. So what I did is, let me see if we can do this real quick. You can kind of slide it out. So if you wanted to do something, you can see kind of how it's. So what I did is I just kind of cut it in there and just did the pencil technique that I usually do to open up the lines for the bricks, and just kind of slid it into it. So if he wanted to take it out for a certain type of shot, he can do that. So that gives him a cool option. And the door, if you see, it's kind of a little bit higher. Basically what happened was I had created this door a while ago, and I was cutting doors at a different dimension. So when I, you know, decided to do this, I'm like, I'm gonna use this door. Then when I put the door in, there was a big gap, and I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do? But luckily, because I had to throw that sidewalk in, and all I had to do was kind of cut it out in a way where when I set it up or set it in, the gap is pretty much gone. So that kind of worked out great. So again, it's magnetized. Once you kind of do this, and you do this, and it'll be ready to ship and put away once. I think this is actually being shipped to somebody in my home state, and about a town or two away from where I used to live last year, and about half an hour from where I currently live is where he lives. So he's gonna be able to get this pretty quick. So I'm gonna put it in the mail tomorrow. And hopefully you'll have, today's Monday, tomorrow Tuesday, hopefully you'll have it by Thursday. Alright, man, so if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, put them right there in the comments. And I'm out. Peace.